everyone, welcome back to Kavita Rabindranath's Accounts is Easy. I hope you've been practicing accounts. We have already started with retirement of partner. And in that one video we've already done where we have discussed change in profit sharing ratio, sacrifice ratio, gain ratio, etc. Today we are going to focus on a bit of revaluation. Revaluation, you will say that okay, it's already done. Yes. Admission and retirement is hardly any difference in revaluation part of it. Same चीज करना है, reassess the liabilities and bring to the books the fresh values of the assets, the revised values. But so if you want to go into the detail of it, I have provided the link in the description box below on revaluation of assets when we did admission. Okay. Apart from that, there is one segment in that itself where children get confused, and you had asked me to make a video on this particular topic. Provision for doubtful debts, debtors, bad debts, etc. at the time of retirement of partner. So here it is for you. Let us start with the various cases and get all your doubts sorted. Case 1. Adjustment. Now whatever will be given as a balance sheet, that's different. Adjustment is saying a debtor who had earlier turned insolvent promises to pay 10,000. Debtor who had earlier turned insolvent, मतलब bad debts हो चुका था, we would have written off his account, and in the balance sheet whatever debtors are showing, this doesn't show this debtor, right? So now what do? Number one, this is an asset that is going to materialize in the future, in the near future, isn't it? ये जो debtor है, ये 10,000 देने वाला है हम लोगों को. He's promised to pay. He's not yet paid. He's promised to pay. Do we recognize such a promise or not? You will say, class 11 we have already done the conservative principle. We do not consider promise to pay, orders and all that unless and until money is received. So here we are going against the principle of conservatism. We are making an exception here because we are revaluing the assets. ये promise to pay hai, so it's most likely that we are going to get, and the new partner should not get disadvantaged by not recording this. So at the time of revaluation, retirement or admission, we do take into account this 10,000, a promise to pay from the debtor, meaning we are bringing into the books the unrecorded asset. Okay, it's a gain to me, of course. So all gains will be credited to revaluation, and the increase in debtors will denote the gain. So debtors account debit 10,000 to revaluation account 10,000. So revaluation account में profit चला गया. Okay, and debtors will increase by 10,000. Include this debtor who has promised to pay me this 10,000. Okay, so keep in mind promises to pay will be acknowledged at the time of revaluation, the time of retirement or admission. Done. Next case. Your balance sheet says debtors are 80,000 and provision, meaning the existing provision, is 4,000. So this is what is showing. This is just an extract of balance sheet I am showing you because we are focusing only on this. 80,000 है, 40,000 का provision है, so we are showing this 76,000 in the balance sheet. Your adjustment says a write-off bad debts 6,000, and nothing is said about the provision, how much provision is required or anything like that. So write-off bad debts 6,000, meaning debtors which are 80,000 should go down in value. Yes. So debtors have to be written off. Generally bad debts write off करने का क्या entry होता है? Bad debts account debit to debtors, right? Now here at the time of revaluation, any loss that is happening, we debit to straight away revaluation account instead of bad debts. नया bad debts account खोलने की जरूरत नहीं है. We are revaluing debtors, so whatever loss is happening because of that, I will debit to revaluation. If I do not have any provision. Provision, why do we make? To meet the bad debts, losses arising due to bad debts, isn't it? So I am already prepared with 4,000. But actual loss is more than the expected loss. So ये जो case है, यहाँ पे क्या है? Provision जो है is less than the actual bad debts. Meaning you are falling short. Even if you utilize the entire provision, 2,000 कम पड़ेगा. that shortfall will be borne by the revaluation account. Instead of the entire 6,000 being written off to revaluation, debited to revaluation, we will only debit the shortfall here. Okay. So the journal entry for writing off this bad debts will be provision for bad and doubtful debts account debit. I utilize the entire 4,000. So मेरा provision पूरा finish हो गया है. The remaining value goes to the debit of revaluation account. Alright, this is how my loss is being borne, and I credit debtors because debtors book value should come down by 6,000. So 80,000, 6,000. Okay, so now it is like after you make the balance sheet post retirement, what will you show? Debtors at 80,000 minus 6,000, 74,000, right? So the fresh value of your debtors in the balance sheet will show at 74,000. What about provision? Provision, you have completely utilized, so there is no more provision left. So provision drops down to 0. So your debtors will show at 74,000 in the new balance sheet. Clear? In your revaluation account, you will be showing this 2,000 debit. You will write the revaluation debit side. You will write 2 debtors 2,000. Alright. So this is case 2. Now case 3. Balance sheet shows debtors at 96,000 and provision at 16,000. So your net debtors are shown as 80,000. Fine. Adjustment says write off bad debts 7,000 and the remaining debtors are all good. Now what do you do? Write off bad debt 7,000. For writing off, first if we have provision, we will utilize provision. If that is sufficient, well and good. If not, then revaluation, isn't it? So 7,000 मुझे write off करना है और 16,000 already है मेरे पास. This is a case where my provision for doubtful debts is more than the bad debts. That means I have sufficient reserve. I do not have to burden my revaluation account. ठीक है? So ये 7,000 16,000 से निकल जाएंगे. I still will have 9,000 left. Where am I getting this 9,000? If I write off this 7,000 against provision, still I will have 9,000 left in my provision for doubtful debts account. Okay. I would have kept this balance as it is, but this says remaining debtors are all good. When debtors are all good, it means you do not require any provision. So this 9,000 provision can be written back to the revaluation. It's a gain for me. I do not have any doubtful debts. I have all good debtors. So it's a gain for me. So इसमें revaluation का इसमें journal entry क्या होगा? Provision for doubtful debts. I do not require anything. Entire 16,000 I have to write off. So पूरा debit कर दिया. Out of this, I am utilizing to write off debtors worth 7,000 because that is bad debts. 2, the remaining 9,000 I told you is a gain for me. This 9,000 will be credited to revaluation account. Okay? Provision up to the amount of bad debts will be debited, debtors will be credited 7,000. Remaining amount I do not require. I have closed the provision account and transferred to revaluation account. It's a gain form. Reduction in provision is a gain form. So this is the journal entry regarding this entire thing. Balance sheet में क्या होगा? Balance sheet में you will show debtors at the net value 96 minus 7,000. So this is 89,000. 89,000 पे debtors दिखेगा balance sheet में. There will be no provision for bad and doubtful debts. Alright? With that, this case is also done. Case 4. Balance sheet shows debtors are 36,000. Less provision 4,000. So it's showing 32,000 doubtful. Adjustment says write off bad debts at 2,000. And maintain provision for doubtful debts at 4%. Now there are two things. Even after writing off the bad debts, it's not that the provision thing is gone. You still have to maintain the provision at 4%. Now 4% of what? Right now your debtors are 36,000. Correct? You write off bad debts. 2,000. Debtors will reduce by 2,000. Your actual debtors now will be 34,000, and the provision is always required at this amount. 4% of 34,000 comes to 1360. So this is the amount, this is the value of provision required by. You already have 4,000 provision, isn't it? So now out of that 4,000, 2,000 will be required to write off the bad debt, and you will need only 1360 more, meaning 3360, that's what you require, right? But you already have 4,000, meaning you have more than the required. How much more? If I subtract this, it's 640 excess provision that I have. Are you getting it? 4,000 already है मेरे पास. मुझे कितना चाहिए उसमें से? 2,000 I require to write off bad debts. I still have 2,000 rupees left. But as per this, I need only 4% of the debtors, meaning only 1360 I require. So obviously I am having an excess provision of 640. This also needs to be written off. We will reduce the provision by 640. So what is the journal entry? First thing, I have to arrange for this bad debts to be written off. So provision for doubtful debts, I will debit, okay, because I need to reduce the debtors up to the extent of bad debts, 2,000, and I need to write off, meaning I have to reduce the provision. It's again for me, I'll credit revaluation for this, to reduce it by 640. So by how much do I debit my provision? 2640. Alright, so 2640 I debit, I credit debtors for the bad debts, revaluation, 640 the excess. So you see, if I debit this provision by 2640, 4,000 was already there, I have debited 2640, my new provision is at 1360, the desired level. The balance sheet में क्या दिखाना है? The new balance sheet. This entry is clear. In the new balance sheet, you will show it as debtors 34,000, because you have written off 2,000 bad debts, less provision for doubtful debts 1360. Like this you will show in the balance sheet. In the revaluation account is being credited. So on the credit side of revaluation, you will write by provision for doubtful debts 650. The entire thing done. So I hope you are a little comfortable with the provision aspect here, bad debts and debtors and all those things. What to take to revaluation in which case. Go through this video once again. It's always there for you children. Please put your doubts in the comments section there. Do not forget to like, share and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. Keep waiting for the next